Welcome to week 3, part 3 of the lecture, Standard Page Elements in a Magazine Spread, part 1. First, we have the headline, which is the title of the article. Like we stated before, it should probably be the largest text since that's the first thing that you want the audience to see. The deck is your second most important text that you want them to see. It describes the headline. You then have the subhead, which begins certain subsections. That's a little bit smaller than the deck. Then we have our body copy, which is the most amount of text. It's usually that solid standard 12-point font in a readable serif font, like Times New Roman or so. And that's going to be the majority of the text on each page. We also have sidebars, which are usually at the edges of the page that has other text in there that maybe is describing an image or certain situation or so that you have. Also, left page and right page in a spread. These are two facing pages. The left page is verso and the right page is recto. So also on the page, we have the head, which is the very top part, kind of like the top margin, if you think about that, the negative space between the edge of the page and then the first amount of content. Then we also have the foot, which is like your bottom margin. And then you have your gutter, which is in the center. It's at the page break. Those are also there, some margins similar to that. Margins on the outside edges as well. And then call-outs, which are short, important excerpts. So that's usually a quote that's taken from within the body copy, and it's, kind of called out in a sense, made it a little bit bigger. One of those kind of attention-grabbing sentences or so to get people to read the article before they start as they kind of, are flipping through the pages, deciding whether they're going to read it or not. Also, we have a caption, which describes an image. We have the bleed, which is beyond edge of the page. Usually that's for more of the printing. We never really see that, or the end user never really sees that. That's the extra stuff that's getting cut off. You have your folio, which is your page number. And you have running feet and head, which is small text on the bottom that describes a section. All of these page components may or may not be needed on a particular 2-page spread. Most of them will, of course, but give or take depending on the type of article it is. How does each page look individually? Each 2-page spread, all pages in the project as a whole, all should be, something that's similar in look over the span of the article. Overall page consistency. Micro level, which is typographic design, subject matter, function, first, second, third, tertiary, single page layout, and hierarchy. The macro level, which would be integration of pages. How do they all look together? Do they look like they're all a part of each other? Sections, images, and type into a single final form of the entire package. The entire series of pages must look integrated in design and provide the ultimate reading experience and be visually appealing to the intended audience. As you can see with this kind of page layout, they all have that kind of vertical bar that's running down the centers of the pages on each page, and they all have kind of, a similar type of layout in terms of text construction. 1- and 2-page spread critiques. So as you can kind of see from these, here's some good examples that we can critique and break down of what works good and what works, not as good. So it says, here's some examples of 2-page spreads to serve as critiques. The first 2-page magazine spread uses a photographic background that goes across both pages. And as you can kind of see, there's a lot of nice negative space in there. And what that means is you're able to put content and text on top of it without it being too busy or taking away from it. And that would be like that greenish wall. It's kind of like more of a gradient green. It creates one large landscape-oriented page rather than two vertical pages. So this one spread, you know, even though it's 2 pages, for that opening first 2 pages, you want it to all look as one image. So a connection between those first, 2 pages and such. The colors are limited in the background to reduce contrast with the other elements. The left side is broken into 3 columns of type, as you can kind of see there, and the headline, subhead, and copy all gradually reduce in boldness and size to present a basic visual hierarchy. And you could see in terms of the text hierarchy, you have your main title, which is the largest, and then you have your deck right under it, and then you have their subhead under that that's a little smaller, and then the nicely aligned text in a body copy in a justified way. 3 columns, as you could see that, you know that the next pages are all going to have that same 3 column setup. And then we have your images over to the right and some more text on the right as well. So a really good creation of hierarchy. Here's another one. This spread is a bit different than the last in that it breaks the 2 pages up intentionally. The photograph is the primary focus of the left side of the page, along with the call-out phrase, as you can see. The picture is cropped at the top to add drama to the article, and it's kind of cutting off the top of his forehead there. The right side is done using a 2-column grid, with both images and type aligned, as you can see on the right column. The colors are limited to create an ancient look to the story. Also, you have that gray from the black and white photograph that kind of helps connect the 2 pages together. The graphic element dividing the heading and copy also adds to this look. And you can see with the text there, the title text has that sharp yellow that really creates a lot of contrasts and it really grabs the attention of the viewer. First they see, of course, the picture of the person looking at them, but yet then their eye goes automatically across the page to the title. And then hopefully to it kind of pulls you down below to hopefully get the audience into wanting to read the rest. You could say that the left side of this page uses a 2-column grid, with the model making one vertical and the text making the other. The overlap of the 2 helps bring the elements together, kind of connects them in a sense. The right side of the page consists of a tight modular grid used to create a photo album theme to the right, using a blank area to reduce repetitiveness. The last one on this 2-page spread, this is a more creative approach to the magazine spread. It is an article about horror movies and uses a large photo as a background for both pages and as a border for the text and smaller photos. As you can see on the right side, you have the photo, you have the girl, and she's kind of in that column. It's on a two column for the right side of the page, in a similar shape as the text on the right. On the left side of the page, that photo continues, but it's kind of got that negative space, more ambient, so it's easily a good backdrop to be able to place items over it. The 3 photos on the left go down unevenly on a diagonal slope to break the grid along with the headline, but there's 3 even vertical paragraphs of type. The right page uses that drop cap to create a storybook theme, and bottom of the 1 column of type moves diagonally with the photo. This is the end of Lecture 3. And here are some slides for references. from each of the slides that we were talked about, and the final slide. Thanks for watching.